you don't want to have to go get your car in the morning because that would be too much of a hassle. F you. So, and then you're also putting innocent lives at risk, whether it be passengers in your car or just random people on the road. That's what pisses me off the most about DUIs.
And whose team is this? Is this your team or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to Dad Mode Podcast. Common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
And welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, common sense parenting in a politically correct world. And down the stretch they come. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Dan Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father. I have little to no idea what I am doing, but you do not either, even if you have a parenting blog. It's probably very stupid. Let's try and learn something together today. Now, I'm in a rock-throwing mood today because, full disclosure, we just recorded the Sam and Nia episode, which is hopefully the last time I ever have to talk about those people because I hate them. And I don't know. I'm just in a very snarky, feisty, fighty mood. What do you think, Nick?
That's fine. It's nothing wrong with that.
We should get amped up for every single one of these shows. Like, I should be forced to. All right, so instead of giving them the YouTube views, I'm gonna download one of their videos and then just watch it every single time to feel my hatred before the show and just get it going. Anyways, website is dadmodepod.com. Twitter is @dadmodepod, or just use the hashtag dadmode. Joining me, we already heard from him, Uncle Nick on Twitter @Nicholson. Hey.
Hey, Andy, how's it going today?
Now, you seem a little feisty today, too. What happened?
Sorry, I'm a little upset with my microphone stand here. It's kind of trying to tighten and get everything.
Is it drooping? Does it need some Levitra?
Some WD-40 to screws up. Fine. Yeah, no, I've been good. Had a long Saturday yesterday. Been out and about. I was up north, helping my brother's in-laws move stuff out, and then I went out last night, had a few beers, had a pretty good time with some friends. I feel pretty good today.
Funny you mentioned beers and getting buzzed, getting drunk. So the topic today is basically endangering your kids when you do stupid stuff. And I definitely want to talk about Minnesota Wild assistant coach Darryl Sydor, who apparently was a recovering alcoholic, kind of fell off the wagon. Blew a .3 at 5:15 p.m. on a Thursday, driving on 65, and he was with his 12-year-old son in the car. NBD, no big deal. Now, first off, .3. That's not having a good time, blood alcohol content. That's you have a serious effing problem. BAC.
Yeah. I know in college, I'm sure we all wanted to try to beat that goal, and we still like to have a good time. We weren't married and had young pre-age kids, preteen kids. I mean, it's a different experience since college days. This is it's kind of a big deal on multiple levels here.
Now, I'm gonna go on a limb and say even through all the good times that I had in college and even afterwards, I don't think I've ever gotten a .3, or I don't think I would ever approach a .3.
We never had a machine to test it though. A lot of bars have these machines now. Have you seen that? They can you put $1 in. There's a section here where they have a bunch of straws.
Yep.
You grab a straw, thankfully not used straws, they're brand new effing straws. Open up the straw, you blow into this machine, and then I'll tell you what your blood alcohol is. And I'm told they're somewhat accurate. The one at the bar I frequent, apparently it gets calibrated regularly. So, I mean, it's something, yeah, I mean, not like our college days back down in Winona. I mean, this is, it's...
Well, let's see, that's the thing about the .3 then, because I've used one, I think it was at Bunny's. The pride of St. Louis Park. So it was at the end of a late night, feeling pretty good. Definitely wasn't driving anywhere, and wasn't driving in the first place. But I felt like it was definitely pretty well up there. It was definitely a good time being had. So I put the $1 in the thing, blew into the straw, and it was a .09. So Me feeling extremely, extremely messed up would barely be over the legal limit if I was driving. And again, drunk driving I think is the most deplorable act out there aside of becoming a YouTube star and exploiting your children. But that's another callback. But DUIs are terrible. I have no tolerance for it. I think punishment should be like 10 times what they are now because it affects innocent lives and et cetera, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, the whole .9 where I was completely shit canned, or I felt like I was barely over the legal limit, which kind of scares me, especially knowing that guys are blowing double the legal limit, or in Sider's case, almost, was it 3.5 times? 3 point.
It's almost 4 times. It's 0.8.
Yeah, 3.75 times.
It's crazy. I found a website here from legalmatch.com.
Yep.
Looks like it's there back for 2012. It looks like there's a little cheat sheet chart of how many drinks you can have per hour and by body weight. So how much do you think this guy weighs?
Let's see. Sider was, well, we'll bring it up. He played in the NHL for a long time. So I want to say he's like 6'2", probably at least 210. Let's see. Yeah, because I think he was a defenseman too. So hockey players are like really big dudes, especially defensemen.
So on this list here, if you're a 200-pound guy,
yep,
and if you follow drinking limit thing of drinks per hour, okay, this might be a little off because obviously this person probably has more than 1 drink per hour. But I mean, if you have 10 drinks an hour, drinks per hour. Oh, never mind. This makes a little more sense here. So 10 drinks per hour, you only at like average, if you're a 200-pound guy, this chart says 0.19.
Oh my god!
Like, I don't know. I'll send you this link so you can take a look at this. But it's, I don't know. I feel like that's
now what do they consider a drink? A beer, 4 ounces of wine, 1 ounce of liquor, etc.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's 12 ounces of beer. So obviously, if you're in Minnesota, I mean, if beers aren't served, if you're out at a bar, I mean, beers can be served in 22-ounce things, mixed drinks. I mean, if you know the bartender, right, he can make, certain ones can make some good drinks for you.
By the way, I estimated Darryl Sydor's size at 6'2", 210 pounds. 6'1", 211, baby. Come on.
Really good. Good test. Nice.
And so 0.19, 10 drinks per hour. So we'll say theoretically he wasn't drinking all day, and say he was drinking in an hour, but who knows the details. He would basically need to take 15 shots in an hour to get to the 0.3.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if I'm doing this chart correctly, yeah, it's, I don't know. I was talking to relatives about this. I mean, we're saying like, if he has a long-term alcoholic problem, maybe his blood's like that now. Maybe he's just an alcoholic.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
In there forever.
If you are like an alcoholic, and again, that alcoholism is a disease, and I hope this guy gets help and yada yada. But you can be the functioning alcoholic where you're completely, above the legal limit, but you're completely normal, can function to a relative degree. And I feel like, I have to put this delicately again. I feel like people are giving Sider too much of a pass because he is an alcoholic or recovering alcoholic, or people talk about alcoholism like a Marine. You're not a former Marine. You're once a Marine, you're always a Marine. You're once an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic, etc. But what if he had T-boned like a minivan with a family of 4 going to Valley Fair? Or what if he had put his kid through the windshield? That doesn't really excuse his actions just because he's an alcoholic.
I don't know. Yeah, that's. I mean, obviously the biggest concern right now is he had his son with him. He's not only endangering the life of himself, people on the road, but your child is in the car with you. I think some stories I read that the kid was crying the entire time, like, is there. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read any reports like if he looked like he was driving intoxicatedly, or if it was just like a random stop. I don't know, but this is a big concern. This is not something that should be news. This is just a terrible act, and I think all he had to do is pay bail right now or something. Or I think he did a little bit of jail time, and I think bail was set here at $12,000, and I think he paid it. And I think he's released right now.
Yeah, and See, the thing is, like, this got a lot of attention because he is relatively high profile, part of a professional sports team. He's on the Wild coaching staff. But this happens like every single day with every single parents of goes through every strata of economic, prosperity as well. I mean, you got poor ass people driving their kids around drunk. You got rich ass people driving their kids around drunk. And it's a thing where what annoys me, or doesn't annoy me, pisses me off the most about DUIs is that they're easily preventable. Like, if you're going out drinking, plan ahead, call an Uber, have a ride home. Just don't drive because you think you're okay when you're not, or you don't want to have to go get your car in the morning because that would be too much of a hassle. F you. So, and then you're also putting innocent lives at risk, whether it be passengers in your car, or just random people on the road. That's what pisses me off the most about DUIs.
As of right now, reading in the ESPN link here, it says that the Wild have just released a statement that they're aware of the situation, but there's no recollection of whether or not he will be fired or terminated. I kind of would assume you might be done.
Yeah, and looking at Minnesota, like the drunk driving offenses and penalties or fines are a complete joke. So the first offense is $1,000 fine and up to 90 days in jail, even though I want to say probably like 2% of people on the first crack spend more than a night in jail. Mm-hmm. Second offense, up to a year in jail, $3,000 fine. Oh, really breaking the bank there. I got to tell you, $3,000 for my second DUI. And again, with a jail time, that's who really serves that? Third offense, up to a year again, same $3,000 fine. Fourth offense, they're finally stepping it up. We're finally getting serious about the fourth offense, up to 7 years in prison and a $14,000 fine. I think the first offense, $15,000 fine, mandatory 90 days in jail. Not up to, mandatory. Because people don't learn from fines. We've kind of established that. And states keep doing it, and counties keep doing it because it generates revenue, but people don't learn unless you take their freedom away. And with something as serious as this, where it is relatively cavalier, I mean, you see celebrities and athletes getting DUIs all the time. We got friends who got DUIs themselves because they're dumbasses, and it's something that has to be taken seriously. Or do we wait until some Vietnamese guy on the off ramp gets run over by,
Yeah, I know. It's, I feel like our state is the only one that lacks. I feel like Wisconsin's probably lacks too. Well, I feel like I've seen news stories where like so and so just got his 8th DUI. I'm like, why the fuck is he still driving?
Well, you were down in Arizona, right? And they have extremely strict DUI laws.
Yeah. Talk about our buddy Jeff. He said they're very strict. I mean, I know Jeff and Lisa. They always say they never risk. They're very well behaved. They plan like one of them's drinking, or like only one of them is drinking. Like they do not risk that. They do not play a joke. And I wish our laws were just as strict about that. I mean, it's reckless.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, getting back to the whole kids thing. So if you're a little kid and say you're 12 years old, you don't really got a choice. When daddy says, "Hey, get in the car. Let's go. I'm going to take it out of your hockey game. Let's go." Okay. Dad, are you drunk? No, I got some mints. I'll be fine. You can't really say no. Well, you could, but you're not going to say no to your dad in that spot.
This kind of goes back to one of our other podcasts about setting good examples. So would you say this is good example, not so good example? This is like a horrible example, right? I mean, the kid, 12 years old, he's impressionable. This is on the news. His friends are gonna find out and know about this. I mean, this kid is probably gonna go through a lot and probably be affected by this.
Especially if the reports are true, like you were saying, that if he was crying the entire time, because you got to think the kid's probably been exposed to this, especially if his dad had alcoholic issues before. Where, especially when he's younger, this definitely some traumatic stuff. Then, dad's in the news, all your friends at school are probably Wild fans, and then they also saw it in the news and be like, "Oh, your dad is a drunk," because you know how kids can be. Mm-hmm. And even think about younger kids who are in baby seats. They have absolutely zero choice of going with the drunk dad, the drunk mom, and hey, baby girl, I'm gonna put you into baby seat. We're gonna go down the block because Mama needs some Pall Malls and some of her Happy Juice. So let's go. And that happens every single day.
Say some of her Happy Juice.
Happy Juice.
Okay. Okay. I'm on the Wikipedia page of this Darryl Sydor guy. His wife Charlene they have 4 kids. Oh,
Come on, Charlene.
4 kids. Oh man, this is so. You have a whole family that's gonna be disappointed as fuck with this guy. Mm-hmm. Oh man, this is just it's a shame. It's awful. This is,
and it's a spot where the whole, don't judge lest you be judged, ye who without sin cast the first stone. I kind of like to live and abide by that, but in a spot like this where your actions are potentially damaging the lives of innocent people, your kids, other drivers on the road, then no, you're going to get hit with rocks, man. You're going to be judged and all this other nonsense because this is unacceptable. Now, I'm of the mind, if you want to drink yourself stupid in the privacy of your own home, absolutely go ahead. If you're going to hit the road, and that's when we have an issue. Same thing with pot. Like, I really don't care if people buy pot, sell pot, smoke pot, whatever. But, if you're selling to, like a 40-year-old dad who's just going to smoke it inside of his house, not around his kids, and, just chill, I mean, that's perfectly fine. But if you're selling to kids, then we have an issue. Again, it's the whole, if your actions affect other people, other unwitting participants, or kids in general, then we got an issue. But Darryl Sydor, I mean, his whole again, trying to skew to the extremes. What if he had killed like a pedestrian or a person on a bike? This would be definitely a different tone rather than it is now, where it's almost kind of lighthearted, kind of funny. Like, I'll admit, I've made a couple of Darryl Sydor jokes in the past week, and yeah, we could make them because absolutely nothing happened. But then again, you got to think, what's going to happen with that kid? What's going to happen with that kid psychologically?
I don't know. I'm trying to do some research here. They're not saying like, I want to know where he got drunk. I mean, if this is a bar that served him, the bar, I think, can like responsibility can be held. Yeah, can be held accountable for that. But judging by the timing of it, I'm assuming if he's drinking at home, something about me is that I never drink at home. I like if I go out and
Nick
drink
drinks alone.
At a bar. I drink alone at a bar.
Yeah, all by himself.
I always drink out. I drink out at dinner. That's my thing. So I'm assuming that this guy got shit faced at his home, and then like, oh, I got to take my brat kid to hockey.
I can fly. I'm a pilot.
The stories I read was that I think he got arrested. He got pulled over in the city of Fridley, which is just north of St. Paul, kind of north of Minneapolis, that border for those.
He could have smashed into you, Nick.
I know, right? I was told though the hockey game he was taking his kids to was in Plymouth.
Oh,
Plymouth
my God.
is far western suburbs. So I know the storyline is he got lost. Holy fuck! like 101 of the Twin Cities. You gotta know where stuff is. And
he was trying to get across the entire metro during rush hour with a .3.
Yeah. Okay, so in the end, this could have been a really, really bad story to be risking it like this. But I mean, let's go back to it though. This is at 5:00, so he was drinking. He was doing early day drinking.
Win the day
on a Thursday, I believe. Yeah, this was Thursday. So not even Thirsty Fridays.
Yeah. See, and again, this does speak to the disease aspect of it because it's clearly this guy has a problem. Wasn't drinking to have fun. Heck, maybe he was having fun. I mean, if you look at his mugshot again, he's got a pretty decent smirk on his face. But again, his BAC might have peaked at like 0.35 at this point. I mean, that's 1/3% of your blood is booze. That's really hard to do.
I'm I like to see what his health records are if you have scoliosis is forming up in his liver yet.
No, I think it means cirrhosis. I think scoliosis is the back thing.
Oh, sorry. Wait, what did I say?
Scoliosis?
It's sclerosis, right? Is it sclerosis?
Cirrhosis.
Cirrhosis. Okay, sorry.
Who's on first?
What?
Yeah. And again, we can sort of make light of the situation because nothing happened. But like you said, I'm surprised that his drunk ass didn't start like a 30-car pileup.
Yeah, no, it's no, this is, but this would honestly be like a miracle that no one else got hurt because 5:15 on a Thursday, Fridley. So I'm assuming I'm trying to think what roads he could have been on. 6594, 694. I mean, yeah, that's harder traffic. I mean, I don't know what he was doing that got the attention of the cops to be like, all right, wait, let's just pull this guy over.
Oh, so you're trying to tell me that 694 westbound at 5 o'clock on a Thursday is going to be busy?
Just a bit. I commute from one part of the metro to the other. Yeah, it's leaving at 5:15 on any day, you're gonna spend at least an hour in traffic. So,
and it's a spot where I'm sure that the wife is. She's definitely aware of her husband's tendencies, and I don't think that, they're not going to be in danger of losing the kid. I'm, again, making a lot of assumptions that the mom is an awesome, phenomenal mom. But, you think of parents who maybe single parents that, drive around with like two kids in the back seat while they're getting their daytime buzz on, maybe hovering around a 0.15, which Darryl Sydor calls lightweights. You got to think like those people who get pulled over and have child endangerment charges are going to lose their kids. And, I don't even know if they care. Then their kids go through the whole foster system if they don't have relatives or close family. And then a family which, is split up into the wind, which, again, you can talk about the validity of being a good parent if you're, around twice the legal limit driving your kids around, but it's a huge psychological blow to these kids.
We had a podcast not too long ago about drinking in front of our kids, and I don't think we did talk about like the ideas of driving with like you can have we talked about we can have a few drinks in front of our kids, but I mean obviously I think we did say that we wouldn't get shit faced in front of our kids. But did we talk about driving at all, or like any other reckless?
I didn't talk about driving. No, I'm a real stickler for even if I know it's okay to have like a beer or two and drive, but if I ever go past 3, definitely having someone else drive or having Crystal drive. Crystal doesn't drink, and it's something like that where I'm very like uberly paranoid and annoying. Not so much for myself because I fearing the repercussions, even though that is part of it, but it's more I don't want to F up someone else who isn't involved in my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. And it's because my first dog was killed by a drunk driver. Not just kidding, but that would be fitting.
Have you been following? I think there's a lot of rules now with. I'm hearing ads all the time on the radio about how people who have to go through having a DUI and stuff. They now have these machines that they install in your car, kind of the whole like help get you through the process of your DUI. After you pay your fines, after you do whatever jail time you do. There's those install things. You can't drive unless you blow into it. I don't know what that. I don't know.
Ignition locks.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about that? I feel like that's kind of a half-assed cause thing. Like, okay, I mean, like technically, I think all cars should just have them. Then, if you're gonna go to extreme, if you have someone who's an alcoholic who's drinking, to just to like, oh wait, hang on a second, I have to blow into my car to get it to start. I mean, it's insane. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, someone brought up the idea for that to be on all cars, and I think that's too far. Like that's a civil liberties issue. Then again, I'm not like a huge ACLU fan person, but Yeah, that's a little too much because people should have a modicum of responsibility. But I do agree if that you have a DUI, that should be mandatory on all vehicles that are registered under your name and that you drive. Because once you show that you can handle responsibility, it gets taken away. And there you go.
Mm-hmm. I know it's this is a shame. This happened. Okay, so we're recording this on it's Sunday right now. It's just a couple days. I'm interested to see where this story goes, because what we're talking about right now, it's all the news we got. We have nothing from the wild. We have nothing. I don't think Darryl made a statement or any family members made a statement.
Well, Darryl tried to make a statement, except it came out as
Your Honor, you're not in court, sir. You don't tell me what to do.
You're not my judge. All right, that's the intro. But yeah, and again, it does highlight. Again, it does get me kind of worked up because it is like the most stupid thing that you can do, just because it could be so easily prevented by spending $20 on an Uber. Woohoo!
The situation of this is just, like he had to take his son to a hockey game. I mean, like
I can fly.
I mean, you had a point where like, all right. I mean, the guy probably thought in his head, should I make my kid take a cab or take an Uber by himself or what? He was just, this was a bad situation. I think some storylines I've read about this is that like the wife and none of the other family members were around to give the kid a ride, so the dad like had to do it. But like it's a horrible situation here. This is, I want to know how this plays out. I want to know if if they're gonna take any action about this or anything. It's, I don't know.
I agree. And the best place you can do, best thing you can do, so you don't end up like Darryl Sydor, buy a BAC Track S35 breathalyzer portable breath alcohol tester on Amazon, baby, and use our link. Actually, I'm gonna put this link in the show notes, and you should go after it. So buy it through Amazon or anything else. School supplies are coming up. The kids that you drive drunk to school, they need school supplies and stuff. So order it on Amazon and use our link through dadmodepod.com, and we'll get a little taste. We'll get a little percentage and keep our lights on while we keep talking about Darryl Sydor. Yeah, good times. What are you buying next on Amazon, Nick? Besides TED 2.
Besides TED 2, I have a couple in my saved file. I needed to buy vacuum filters for my vacuum cleaner that they don't sell anymore because my vacuum was made back in like early 2000s. So you can only find those on Amazon. Believe it or not, Sears does not sell them anymore. So
there you go. Amazon taking over, mostly because their employees work themselves to death. But it's okay because they have a good affiliate program. And for that, we thank you.
Nice way to sign off right there.
Also,
some Amazon issues there, but yeah, hey.
Also, thank you very much for telling a friend. You're talking about your kids, talking about how terrible they are, talking about how you don't know what to do, and then tell your friend about Dad Mode, because we don't know what the hell's going on either, especially me. Well, Nick as well, because he doesn't have kids.
Not yet.
That he knows of.
Ooh.
Going on that note, show's available on iTunes. Subscribe, a little 5-star review, and a rate. I was going to see how many rate and reviews we had, but I'll look it up later. Show is available. Website is dadmodepod.com. Follow us on Twitter at dadmodepod, or me at Andy Carlson Show. Nick is at Nick a Son. But yeah, say goodbye, Nick.
Hey, goodbye, folks.
Be a man, be a father, go Dad Mode. See you next time. If you're going to drive your kid drunk, keep it under 0.29. I mean, come on. I mean, let's just be realistic here. All right, good night. Oh, damn it. All right, so the lawyers are probably going to tell me, hey, we do not endorse drunk driving. That last 0.29 reference was a joke, and blah, 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 blah. All right, see you next time.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go Dad Mode. The music is created and produced by deeB. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/deeB.